Parents, if you're nervous about big matches, like maybe we have regionals coming up this weekend and youth state, we had high school state 2 weeks ago. We need our wrestlers and the parents and the coaches should be on the same page. We need to, number one, lock into a game plan that we think is going to bring us to victory or give us the best chances of winning. And that's just where we want to live. So there's some phrase, when the mind occupies 1/10, it is absent in the 9/10. And something about if the mind is everywhere, then it is nowhere. So it's just we want to focus on something. So why not focus on what you need to do to win and only focus on that? Our other videos you've watched, even thinking about winning that late in the game can be a distraction. We only focus on what we need to do to win. Now, what if I'm wrestling someone who I know I can't beat? It's okay to admit that. If you've beat me 15-0 the past 2 weekends, not that I can't beat you at the state tournament, but it's going to be tough. So, maybe we call it closing the gap. Maybe, because that's a hard thing to do for an athlete, is to game plan for a match when they know they're not going to win. Okay, so in weightlifting and track, it's easy. You just say, well, I'm going to have to deadlift 250 pounds today to get a medal. I can only do 200. I barely qualified. My goal might be to deadlift 205 pounds and have a PR. And I can say, I can lock onto that, and I can be happy with the fact that I did a great job at state, and I just wasn't ready for a medal yet. That's okay. But back to what I was saying. So, maybe my goal against you is just to not get turned and to have a 5-point match. Okay, now what's my game plan for not getting turned? I need to write that down and figure it out. How were you turning me before? Maybe you're getting my wrist. Maybe I know how to, go to my, we call it a tug of war, go to my tug of war stance on bottom and counter that. And that's on our online wrestling academy online course. You should probably have that. It's at flowrestling.com. But so, maybe I have my cross wrist tilt, right? Punch, create a hole, elbow in the hole, fight out. We don't fight the fingers from a cross wrist. Maybe I pull the karate chop up to my armpit. That's a tilt counter, right? So now going into the match, I have a game plan to lock onto. Or if it's a match I think I can win, maybe I'm in a position to win a state title or a state medal. Or I know I need to pull off a couple of sort of upsets. They don't have to be major upsets. Maybe you've beaten me twice this year, but it's always been close. I can beat you. So my goal is to win. So what's my game plan that's going to set me up for success? What's my game plan that I want to hyper focus on that puts me in a best chance of winning? You need to know what that is, so that you have something to hyper focus on, because when your thoughts are in one place, they're locked in, they're not bouncing around everywhere, because when your thoughts are everywhere, they are nowhere. And that's whenever we as parents and coaches, you're pacing around, you're nervous as hell, you're stressing your kids out, your kids feed off of that, right? And when the kids being nervous is probably normal, but when the parents are in full panic mode and the coach is scared, it's over, right? It's just completely over. Just keeping you guys from screwing it all up is a big part of our job, right, from a coaching standpoint. And some of you coaches are guilty too. Quit nodding your head, right? You screw it up half the times yourself. So we need to have a game plan to focus on. And then once you do that, that's all we do. We just say, hey, you know what? You implement the game plan. Remember, the game plan isn't a script. It may not work. That's okay. It's just a starting point. A football player has a game plan, a quarterback. The ball is hiked to him. He has to decide. He's trying to run the play, but half the times it falls apart. He's got to improvise and move the ball down the field. It can be ugly, and our athletes need to know that as well. Okay, so it's just a game plan. We call it a rough, loose game plan. Rough and loose game plan. Not a script that's going to work 100% of the time, right? There's no constants here. Like a set of blueprints that helps me to build a deck. That's a constant, right? The deck will be built if you do everything all the measurements cut exactly. We can't do that in wrestling. We don't know what's going to happen. He may not underhook me this whole match. Last time he did, so, you know. But at least for me, it gives me a place to start so that my mind and thoughts and emotions aren't all over the place. So make sure you have that, you coaches have that, the kids need to have that, and then we leave it alone. We don't talk about it nonstop, okay? And I did this with my nephew when he just won the state title. We had a game plan. We talked about it a little bit the night before, and before the finals, hours before the finals, probably 5 hours, we're gonna go over this one time. We had it typed out, and he read it on his phone. And then I reminded him of that later when he shot me a text. He took a little nap. This is all we're doing. We're just going to try to live in these tie-ups. This is our game plan on our feet. A really heavy psycho hand fighter. We had to deal with that. And he actually picked top. Some of you guys never pick top. We seldomly do, but he was 43-1 this year and picked top every time. He needs to get better on bottom, but we weren't going to force that. So I said, his coaches, I'm like, just leave him alone. You know, it's been a very stressful year. If he wants to pick top, let him do it. It's working, right? If it costs him a state title, then he just has to deal with it. We're not going to change things up, because changing things up is going to cost us a lot. So having a game plan. And this helped us, and it can help you, and it's helped my son when I used to coach him, and it's helped me as a coach, because being a coach is easy. Being a parent of a wrestler is very stressful. So as parents, we need to do this too. So, you know, that's the most important thing. And then we can take the chaos and recklessness and doubt out of it. We at least have a place to start. Let's see if we can pull this off. We're not going to worry about it, right? We want to engage in the art of not thinking, engage in the art of not worrying, engage in the art of not having an emotional reaction, and engage in the art of only focusing on what we need to do to win the match, and that's it, right? So good luck. Share this with your parents and your coaches and your athletes, and start to implement this, and it will help you tremendously. PurlerWrestling.com. Check us out.